world of Minecraft. It's as peculiar as it is beautiful. Most of what we see is only a block or two surface deep, but hidden underneath is a vibrant and complex mystery, none more so than the hidden stories of its most numerous habitants, the animals. Subscropa domesticus, the humble pig. Cute, isn't he? Nature's answer to spam. Here, in this lush meadow, we find our family of puffy pink protagonists busily gorging themselves on the endless bites of coloured data set against a majestic mountain backdrop. It is here with this peculiar pack of pixelated pork that we will begin our journey, and the journey of so many other species of Minecraft zoology, as we discover the hidden world of animal migration, that great movement of herds and schools and flocks of animals as they make their way from the safety of their homelands to their final destination across vast tracts of unimaginable horror. It will be an arduous expedition for all involved, including the makers of this documentary, who will have to survive with only the base model of the 7-seater Range Rover as transport. Many of these wonderful creatures that we will follow will die. Those that don't will die next year. Welcome to the world of Minecraft mass migrations. The pigs have begun the first leg of their journey on the fair grasslands that seem to go on forever. Here, they are relatively safe from most predators, other than wolves, villagers, pillagers, skeletons, creepers, and a whole bunch of other freaks.
Hello.
And their greatest enemy, that age-old foe, the squid. Fortunately, no one is watching this field, and so most will make it across unharmed, which is just as well, because their next stop is the desert, where many will die horrible deaths and become bacon. This lonely bird observes their crusade from a safe height, but only fleetingly, as it too has somewhere else to be. Exactly 1 week ago, when the pigs were still busying themselves with their inconsequential lives, this bird heard the internal call: fly away. This is internal ID JE105BE30 entity ID parrot. It spawns in the jungle, and when it dies, it gives you 2 feathers. Of no particular value in the Minecraft world, the humble parrot looks nice, I suppose, if you're into that sort of thing, and can sit on your shoulder. Apart from that, I asked my son what he thought of them, and he replied,
"I'll clean it later."
Which about sums it up. When the parrot embarks on its epic journey, no one really notices, especially when it's this boring colour. Who can blame them? Most Minecrafters would rather blow up giant toilets made out of TNT as opposed to watching a bird fly 1,000 kilometers.
Bye bye.
We will follow this particular bird, quite aptly named Unlucky, mainly because it offers some light relief from the other more strenuous animal journeys and gives us the opportunity to shoot some incredible aerial shots to show you the work that went into making the landscape. When this bird does decide to embark, we will be with it every step of the way, from its flight over the snow-capped mountains of Pig's Frozen Hell to the maddening deserts of What the Hell, and on to... Where's the bird? Who was watching the bird? This is the journey of a parrot we would like to call Unlucky 2. Unlucky 2 is a lot like Unlucky, but even less colourful, and let's face it, the only one we could spawn on our remaining budget. We will follow Unlucky 2 on her long and painful journey, unless of course we lose her as well, in which case we will have no choice but to follow a bat. Nobody wants that. Nobody. And away we go. Unlucky 2 has left the only home she has ever known and is flying east or west, depending on which hemisphere you are playing Minecraft and which direction your computer is facing. Her first obstacle, the grasslands. Here it is unsafe to land. Roaming mobs of the Walking Dead would make a tasty meal of her and use her feather gifts as a hat. She is best to keep flying over these immense fields. And flying. And flying. And flying. And flying. It's spring, and with spring comes breeding time. This school of salmon have been consuming vast quantities of protein, busily feeding during the icy cold months of winter, in preparation for their epic journey. They'll need it. For in this test of their endurance, only the fattest will survive. Ahead of them, an incredibly dangerous swim upriver, and to the breeding grounds found more than 200 kilometers in that direction. You see, for these tireless creatures, it's a yearly trek which none can avoid. It is imprinted in their Minecraft coding. If they headed their own way, they would probably sink to the bottom of the ocean and become sea mulch, which is preferable to the journey ahead. However, it isn't up to them, as their role in this world is to be a food source. Some days it doesn't pay to be a fish. Most of them won't make it. We will be following this small family of salmon within this giant school. Why? I'm glad to say most of this family will make it. Otherwise, there would have been no point in filming them. Actually, some of them will make it. The others will be eaten to make you feel sorry for salmon as a whole. To be honest, all of them will die before making it to the lake, except for this one, who I will call Danny. Beautiful, isn't he? He will die after making it to the lake in a tear-jerking moment where you, the viewer, are thrust headfirst into the world of animal mortality whilst you're munching on a packet of corn chips on the couch. It will happen just when you think everything is going to be alright. Don't read out this part of the script. We only wrote this in as a joke to see if you were concentrating. There you go, Danny. We'll be seeing you upstream later. Wait, what did I just say? The journey begins here, at the mouth of the river Mincraft. 1 million salmon, give or take a few megabytes, have jostled to be the first to the river mouth. Fortune favours the brave, and as the old saying goes, first in, best dressed. Except for this year, as this gravel landslide has ended their journey abruptly. Where did it come from? We'll probably never know. However, the salmon who were second in line are now first in line, paying homage to the other old saying, the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese out of the mousetrap. Although the coast seems quite clear, there are still many dangers in these waters. For these salmon, they must avoid at all costs. Wolves, villagers, pillagers, skeletons, creepers. Well, you get the picture. Of course, what ensures the survival of these magnificent creatures is their incredible numbers. A few million of them could die, and still there is more than ample left to sustain the upper class's unhealthy appetite for smoked salmon pâté. Speaking of which, here come some of them now. Game fishermen. A bit of a shame, really, for some of these fish are quite old and undeserving of such a fate. Perhaps karma will ensure that these rich folk get what they deserve. In our next installment, we will continue our epic journey with our friends the pigs, Unlucky 2 and Danny the salmon, as well as introduce our enemies, the zombies, for they too have a story to tell. Until then.